Very good afternoon, my dear Andreas, and many thanks for being here with us and talking about Freemasonry. I'm honored to have you here, and I like to, for the very first time, introduce our audience to the Masonic life in Cyprus. A short history, how many rites and lodges, if there are lodges in other languages, what dependent bodies do you have, and so on. The floor is yours.
Okay. Yeah, brother Claudio, first of all, I have to say that it is also an honor for me to give this interview to the Masonic Forum. And I would like also to congratulate you regarding your work. Before I give you a brief history about Freemasonry in Cyprus, for which I will elaborate a little bit, let me introduce firstly the current situation regarding the Grand Lodge of Cyprus and Masonic activities in the island. In Cyprus, we have at least one lodge in every district of the country, and currently we have only Greek and English speaking lodges. In the past, we had one Italian and one German speaking lodge, but due to the decreasing number of their members, the operation of those lodges was suspended. Totally, we have 11 active lodges with about 500 members, noting that dual membership within the Grand Lodge is not permitted. It's also a policy that membership is exclusive to the residents of Cyprus. However, in exceptional cases, we examine applications from non-residents for membership, provided that they fulfill some conditions. The Grand Lodge of Cyprus is working in amity with all the other Masonic bodies which are activated in the island, such as the Supreme Council, with which we have a signed concordat since 2006. Also, with the permission of the Grand Lodge of Cyprus, which is the sovereign Masonic body in the island, other Masonic bodies are operating in Cyprus, such as the American type of yoke rite, which includes the Royal Arch, the Cryptic, and the Knight Templars. We also have the Order of the Red Cross of Constantine, the Order of the Royal Arch Knight Templar, priests, and recently we have approved the formation of one chapter of the Demolay organization. At this point, I have to mention that we are very careful and we are exercising extreme caution and care regarding the safeguarding of the independence of the Grand Lodge from any other Masonic body that operates in Cyprus. For the reason, none of the members of the Council or the Grand Lodge of Cyprus is allowed to be at the same time a Grand Officer in any affiliate Masonic body which operates in Cyprus. I myself, when I was elected as a Grand Master, I resigned from all my positions I enjoyed as a Grand Officer in the other Masonic bodies, either in Cyprus or abroad. So this is a brief outline of what we have in Cyprus today. Regarding now the history and the evolution of Freemasonry and the Grand Lodge in Cyprus, always during my discussions, when I have this type of discussions, I like to say that the evolution of Freemasonry in Cyprus is divided into three major periods, which are following somehow three major historic events in the history of Cyprus. And let me be more specific. The first period is the period from 1878 to 1960, which is marked by the occupation of the island by the United Kingdom. But let's start things from the beginning. Following the agreement between Turkey and the United Kingdom, because Cyprus was under the Ottoman Empire, Cyprus moved from the Ottoman Empire occupation and went under the occupation of the United Kingdom and became a crown colony. This happened in 1878. Very soon, in 5 to 10 years, I think in 1888, the United Grand Lodge of England created its first lodge under its jurisdiction in the island in order mostly to accommodate the brothers who moved in the island with the purpose to establish the new government. Happily, a number of locals joined and saw the Masonic light in that first lodge, and very soon, the need to give the light and share the principles and morals of Freemasonry to the local non-English speaking population created the urge and the need to establish more lodges, but this time in the Greek language. That was a time when the United Grand Lodge of England approved and gave its consent to the Grand Lodge of Greece to create its first lodge in the island. That happened in 1895. So since that day, UGLE shared the jurisdiction in the island with the Grand Lodge of Greece. The two Grand Lodges continued sharing the Masonic jurisdiction in Cyprus until the consecration of the Grand Lodge of Cyprus. So that was the first period of time during which Freemasonry came and established in Cyprus. The second period of time is a shorter period compared to the first one, which was around 85 years. This second period is only 14 years. It lasts from 1960 to 1974. Now, 1960 is a powerful year for Cyprus because Cyprus became an independent country, fully accepted as an equal member of the United Nations, and afterwards as a member of the European Union and Eurozone as well. During this period of time, Freemasonry in the island was expanding with the assistance of both Grand Lodges, and we saw the creation of new lodges in the entire territory of the country. It is remarkable to mention here that the Greek Cypriot Freemasons were in most cases the majority of the founding members of the new English lodges, which were under the jurisdiction of the UGLE, creating a healthy mixture in brotherly love between all the citizens of the island. It is also worth to mention here that most of them are still keeping their membership active as of today. So, as a whole about this period, I think that in spite of some obvious and well-known to us problems regarding the acceptability of Freemasonry in a small country like Cyprus, with its small local and closed societies, I can easily say that in this period of time, Freemasonry was thriving. So to summarize, the second period, it was a period of expansion and excellent cooperation between the two Grand Lodges. Now we are coming to the third period, which starts in 1974 until today. During this period of time, we had in the island major events that are still affecting the life of Freemasonry here. Firstly, it was the invasion by Turkey in 1974 and the occupation of the northern part of the island. That had a direct negative impact to Cypriot Masonic life, as a great number of our brothers expelled from their houses, being part of the population who forced to move in the southern part. At the same time, the lodges who were operating in the north part of the island suspended their operations temporarily. The second event in this period, which marked Freemasonry in Cyprus, was the creation in 1980 of the District Grand Lodge of England under the jurisdiction of the United Grand Lodge of England. The District Grand Lodge of England, which exists as of today, has lodges under its control in all over the southern part of the island, and has members mostly British people who live in Cyprus. But also some Greek and Turkish Cypriots who live either in the north or in the south part are members of the District Grand Lodge of England. And it is worth mentioning here that no official Masonic work is allowed by the district in the northern occupied area of Cyprus. The third, and this most, I say, important event of this third period happened in 2005, when the majority of the members of the Greek-speaking lodges in Cyprus, working under the auspices of the Grand Lodge of Greece, decided to set aside their emotional feelings regarding Greece for obvious reasons, and to request from their mother Grand Lodge to assist them in order to create a Grand Lodge in the island. This eventually happened in 2006, where three Grand Lodges, the Grand Lodge of Austria, the Grand Lodge of Pennsylvania, and the Grand Lodge of Greece, sent their Grand Masters here, and through them, the Grand Lodge of Cyprus was consecrated. This happened in 2006. Cyprus, from then, is now represented by its own sovereign Grand Lodge, the Grand Lodge of Cyprus of the ancient, free, and accepted Freemasonry. Our Grand Lodge is in amity with and recognized today as a regular Grand Lodge by more than 150 Grand Lodges all over the world. At this point, I would like to confess that I am a strong supporter and believer in the idea of having no more than one sovereign Grand Lodge in every country, especially in the small ones. I emphasize the small countries since we are aware that may not be the case of United Kingdom, United States of America, and Brazil. In general, I think that the international Masonic family has a duty to discourage the creation of more than one Grand Lodge in small countries, or on the other hand, not to support the division of the jurisdiction of any existing sovereign Grand Lodge. We have known for years now that each division creates problems that take years and years to be solved. Brother Claudio, before I close this topic, let me give you also a small note regarding the situation in the north side of the island. Although the Grand Lodge of Cyprus is the recognized sovereign Masonic body for Cyprus, we do not have Masonic control in the occupied north part of the island due to the current political situation. The District Grand Lodge of Cyprus under the UGLE have tried solving this problem by having members from that side on condition that everybody is working in the southern part of the island. At the same time, the Grand Lodge of Turkey has created and operates 3 lodges with Turkish Cypriot members under its jurisdiction in North Cyprus. Since the Grand Lodge of Turkey now and the Grand Lodge of Cyprus are not recognized by each other, no intervisitation is allowed with these brothers in the north part of the island. And at the same time, although UGLE and Turkey recognize each other, again, intervisitation is prohibited from these lodges which are working in the northern part of the island. Dear brother Claudio, I think that I sent and I elaborated a few things about this unpleasant situation. But my opinion is that although the problem here seems a little bit complicated, at the same time, I think it is very simple and crystal clear. And at this point, I need to confess to you once again my dream for the Masonic future in Cyprus. We, Cypriot Freemasons, all Cypriot Freemasons, irrespective of our ethnicity, we can live and we can work together in brotherly love abiding the Masonic values and principles under one umbrella, the Grand Lodge of Cyprus. When there is a will, there is a way, and I'm very sure that one day we can find a way to satisfy all parts involved. This is my dream, one Grand Lodge for the whole of Cyprus. Anyway, I apologize for the lengthy presentation, and I'm at your disposal for further questions.
Now we know, Andreas. Thank you so much. What are the relations of Freemasonry Cyprus with the authority of the state?
Okay, we don't face any kind of serious problems or any kind of minor problems with the authorities. On the contrary, following various social events and fundraising activities during the last years, I have a strong feeling that we are now accepted better than in the past, and we are considered as a living cell of the local communities and the society. For example, for the first time, our charity work was mentioned by His Excellency, the President of Cyprus, who expressed his gratitude regarding our recent donation to the Ministry of Health in writing. This was done in writing, and to be honest, I was very happy when I received his letter. This about the society. We are open, and I think we don't face any problem today.
Are there relationship between the Freemasonry Cyprus and the church?
Okay, here I have to be honest. We try to keep a balance. We are very cautious because of the past. Although, as I said, in the past we faced some negative attitude. Nowadays, I could say we are not facing any specific or serious problem. Of course, this is a result again of our continuous efforts to be present in the society through the charity events and by making everybody understand who we are and what our principles are. Apart from that, most of our members are very religious persons, and I think that the clergy understand that we are not a religion. Finally, they understand it, and that we are all, or at least the majority of us, religious persons. So we don't have any serious conflict between the church and us nowadays. In the past, yes, but today, no. We try hard to keep the balance there.
Mm-hmm. From your international Masonic experience, I am sure you have noticed differences between Eastern and Western European Freemasonry, between South and North America. What kind of Freemasonry do you think is closer to what Freemasonry should be?
Okay, it's true that after I became Grand Master, and I had the opportunity to travel a lot and attend Masonic meetings almost in every part of the world, except Far East. What I have noticed is that in every continent, in every different geographical area, the difference lies in the performance of the Grand Lodge itself. The different approach is, I think, the outcome in most cases is the influence of the local history of the specific geographical area. In some areas, you can see more rituals, a more philosophical environment, more charity-oriented Grand Lodges, etc. But you don't see any material differences in the principles and the Masonic values which the international fraternity abides. Because this is what we are. We know what Freemasonry is, and we also know what is not Freemasonry. We are a fraternity where we accept good men in order for them to become better for themselves and better for the society. Definitely, this is the core purpose of all Grand Lodges in the world. The procedures and the tools, yes, there are differences from place to place. Let's consider, for example, the United States of America, where there are areas where there is a peak concentration of charity. Let's take Europe, on the other hand, which remains more philosophically oriented. So Having all this in mind, I think that the important ratio is somewhere in the middle. We need charity activities because charity is part of our duties as Freemasons, but at the same time, we need proper rituals and mostly the philosophical approach of fraternity. In the other hand, say at the end, we must never forget two things, the Masonic order and the landmarks. Without these two, we'll become an ordinary men's club with an expiry date. So here is the golden ratio. Not only charity or ritual, but to go back to our roots and try to update not the landmarks, but the procedures so as to be aligned with the today's situation. What I can say is that I remember always discussions we had, and we say that, yes, Freemasonry should adapt with the age we live, but we must not forget our roots. Okay.
So, do you agree with Freemasonry more involved in society? We cannot be a philosophical club outside real life. It's normal.
Yes, but we must not forget the rituals, the landmarks, and who we are. Not only charity, because we are not a charity organization. We are something else. We are a fraternity. We have our morals. We have our principles.
Andreas, do you think that world today needs Freemasonry like in the past? Is Freemasonry somehow eroded? Has Freemasonry become more of a charity organization on the globe?
I think yes, definitely yes. The mankind needs Freemasonry. Imagine what we have today. We have a continuous, I can say, in a geographical progression, technological evolution. We have today easy access to unlimited information through the internet, where people is globally connected in a much more easier way compared to the past. We are now entering the artificial intelligence era with unknown impact in our daily habits, but nobody and nothing can substitute humans. Nobody can substitute by 100% the human brain, the emotions, and the human logic, which is unique in terms of its vast unexploitable variables. This human logic, or come to Masons, the Masonic logic we have, which has fully adopted the principles and the values of our fraternity, is definitely needed by the world. We as Freemasons, we can contribute to the evolution, and at the same time, we can control the smooth transition in humanity. As we have contributed in all revolutions in the past, in the history of the mankind. This is I consider this another revolution we have today. And regarding charity, we said before, I agree that in some areas, Freemasonry has become a charitable organization. But this is not what the world needs from Freemasonry. Charity is part of the life of every Freemason, but not his only purpose. For sure, Freemasonry is needed to support the new technological era. This is my strong opinion and feeling.
Thank you. What is the most difficult problem facing Freemasonry today?
I think that the most difficult problem we are currently facing is not coming from the outside environment or the challenges we are facing due to technological evolution. The problem we are facing nowadays is to find our way to the future and to believe to our existence and to our purpose as Freemasons. So the major issue and threat is coming from inside. And I will try to be more specific. Let's go back to the origins. Just make initial thoughts What is Freemasonry? Freemasonry is a global fraternity. So this is number one. Who are its members? For our institutions, members are good men. So this is number two. And what is their purpose? To try through Freemasonry to become better men for themselves and the society. So this is number three. So if we start from these three pillars, if I could say this as three pillars, Freemasonry will survive and will keep going on in a healthy way. So we are a fraternity. We need healthy bonding and good men. And yes, we have and we need to sacrifice the quantity in favor of the quality. If we achieve this, the future is there. So this is the main, let's say, the main problem I think we are facing is from us, not from outsiders.
Yeah. As you know, the English-speaking Grand Lodges are losing membership. Is it the same situation nowadays in Cyprus? What kind of policies do you have for retaining membership?
Yes, this is true. And a few years ago, we had this phenomenon and it was very alarming to us. However, today we are on the upside. Of course, I don't know what will be the situation after the pandemic or when we will start again operating smoothly. But I'm very optimistic about that. What we did here in Cyprus, when we saw the problem, we carried out an in-depth analysis, lodge by lodge, regarding their inactive members. Then we analyzed those figures by age, by years in Freemasonry, etc. After that, we concluded to apply some politics and some policies, if we can say that, just to stop losing members. First of all, very strict examination of all the applications for joining the fraternity by non-members. I repeat, our motto is quality versus quantity. Then we try to give emphasis in the age of the applicants, trying by this to lower the average age of our members. Of course, this is not black and white, and we don't refuse so very lightly the entrance to eligible men of older men who want to join. But we concentrate on the age between 30 to 40 years old, not. And we insist in the improvement of the ritual work in all lodges. We are encouraging, this is very serious, we are encouraging family socializing of our members, the bonding between the families. And we try to convince everybody to be part of all fundraising or charity events we have. And finally, we try very hard to improve the communication between the lodges and the Grand Master through an efficient way by the lodges inspectors. And something that we're working on the last 6 months now, we insist on the uniformity of all members in terms of the regalia, clothing, etc. So we order the regalias to be uniform for all lodges, gloves for all members to be identical, etc. So I'm very happy to say this today to you that yes, in Cyprus, I'm sure that we managed to reverse the situation, to reverse the declining number of members. And this project, the whole, if I say this is a project, if I can describe it as a project, it is the result of the common work of everybody, from everybody in my Grand Lodge, and I am glad to have this, all these brothers with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
How does the Freemasonry in Cyprus surpass the pandemic? What lessons should be learned from the pandemic period?
It's true that, like everybody else in the world, we have been affected by pandemic. From the beginning, we concentrated our efforts in order to safeguard the health of our members by issuing policies regarding the entrance in the temple and regarding the rituals. At a later stage, following a decree by the Grand Master, all Masonic activities have been suspended, and at the same time, we encouraged virtual unofficial meetings with no ritual work and no official business. I can say that our members were very eager to participate in such a type of meetings. At the same time, since all the meetings were informal, it gave the opportunity to all lodges to bypass the country, or I can say the Grand Lodge barriers, and they have joined virtual meetings with brothers from another jurisdictions and other countries. That was an excellent opportunity, which showed to us the way to consider implementing virtual meetings globally, with the restriction, of course, of no ritual work. The pandemic situation actually paved the way to start virtual non-ritual meetings between the Grand Lodge and the lodges, proving that sometimes it is more efficient, more convenient, and more productive. I think that virtual meetings came to our life and will stay. So we try to find a way to overcome the pandemic period, keeping the brothers together. This was the main idea.
How do you see the future of Freemasonry, Andreas?
Okay, I think I gave a small answer before, but everything depends on us.
Absolutely.
Humanity needs our fraternity. It needs our values and principles mixed together with the Masonic logic, as I said before, and knowledge. If we safeguard the Masonic order and the landmarks, if we have in our everyday life the Masonic principles and values, I am sure that Freemasonry will continue its support to the humanity for the ages to come. So this is what I think about the future of Freemasonry. We are here and we'll be here for thousands of years ago.
Finally, please tell us your curriculum vitae, both Masonic and profane.
Okay, I'm a mechanical engineer, but I have never worked in this field. Rather, I was a banker for almost 37 years, serving in various different senior positions. I have retired since last year, and I run now a banking consultancy office. Now, regarding Freemasonry, I entered Freemasonry almost 35 years ago, and I saw the light in Genera's Lodge number 64 in the east of Paphos, Cyprus, under the auspices of the Grand Lodge of Greece. And I was very happy to be the first worshipful master of my mother lodge under the jurisdiction of the newly formed Grand Lodge of Cyprus. I was elected 2 times as a member of the Grand Lodge of the Grand Castle of the Grand Lodge of Cyprus, and in 2015, finally I was elected as the Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Cyprus. Since 2009, I have attended almost all the Masonic World Conferences in every part of the world, and I have to be honest that I am very lucky to have the opportunity to meet and discuss Masonic issues with very, very good friends and brothers. I'm also a member in all Masonic bodies which are operating in Cyprus, from which, as I said before, I have resigned from all my Grand Officer's duties immediately after my election as a Grand Master of Cyprus. This is about me, and I would like Brother Claudio to thank you once again that you gave me the opportunity to present the Grand Lodge of Cyprus to your subscribers.
Andreas, I thank you for accepting the invitation, for being here with us, and for your kindness to speak with us about Freemasonry in Cyprus. It's an honor for me. I thank you very much indeed. Thank you again, Andreas.
Thank you.